Everybody Hates Rand is a Wheel of Time podcast that will contain spoilers for all 14 books. So if you're anti-spoiler, pause this, read all 14 books, and come back. We'll be here, waiting.
Our title is a joke and is meant to be taken as such. In the context of this podcast, everybody refers to us and our cat. You are free to feel however you want about Rand, who is a fictional character. Don't DM us.
The world is a mess, Dark One stretching out his hand. The dragon's reborn, the fire's been fanned, but everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand.
Hi.
Hello.
What's happening?
I'm very cranky. I'm just want to eat my Skittles.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty cranky too, and I want to eat my M&Ms, so this is going to be a bad episode.
It's just today has been so dumb.
Yeah, mine too. It was pretty bad. I was trying to, my voice has been cracking a lot this weekend because I've been sick, and that's what happens to me. And so on the way home, I was trying to, practice my instrument, exercise my instrument by singing along to the radio, but I was cracking worse than One Direction, the early days, so if I sound funny, that's why.
She's just sicky.
I'm just a sickie who wants to eat their M&Ms because Sally got candy.
Mm-hmm.
She's so nice.
It's a candy day.
It sure is a candy day. I guess last episode was so good that sort of gives us a get out of jail free card for this episode. This is Everybody Has Trauma, your friendly neighborhood Wheel of Time podcast. Credit to both Al and Matt.
Yeah.
Al for the phrase, Matt for the accompanying art.
All those poor kids have PTSD.
Yes.
Frowny
face. It's your friendly neighborhood Wheel of Time podcast. I'm Emily Jushaw.
And I am Sally Goodger.
As we mentioned, we had a really successful 100th episode, and we really liked it, and we're glad that you guys seem to like it, too. It made us really happy. And we're happy that you thought all of our contributors were really funny, because they super are. Mm-hmm. They're such delights. And that's the reason we keep doing this, is because most of you are delightful.
Most of you.
Should I edit that to say all of you are delightful? Even
no,
though
they
it would
know
be
who they
It
are.
would be a lie. Some of you, probably if you're listening to episode 101, you're not one of the non-delightful people.
You probably aren't one of the people.
You probably wouldn't have got past the caveat at the beginning.
Yeah, you have vocal fry and I hate you.
People haven't DM'd us about hating Rand in a while, so I feel like the caveat's working.
Me too. Now they just leave nasty things in other places.
Do they? No, I don't want to know. You told me last time and it made me upset.
Yeah.
Not in an upset, vulnerable way. Upset in a, I want to go into these people's houses and smack them upside the head for just being mind your business.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, don't fucking tell someone. Just don't listen to it.
It's so easy.
Do you know how many podcasts there are out there that I don't like and also don't listen to?
Do you know how easy it is to just not listen to something?
I support men's rights to shut the fuck up. Support Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, seriously. I'm gonna give them, all of the money in my bank account.
Don't do that, because we do have to get a house.
Okay, I won't give them
all of the money.
I will give them $8.
Just some of the money. If you have money. Hey, if you this week were thinking of buying us a Ko-fi, instead, send that money right on to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, I like the way you said that.
Planned Parenthood.
Send that money right on to Planned Parenthood.
Planned. What if Lamb's name was pronounced that way? In the pronunciation guide it said land, but you have to bow like a sheep in the middle. Oh my god, I'm done. Stop! So funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to get through this because I have to FaceTime my sister.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
No, don't be sorry. I was I don't really know when I'll be done recording my dumb podcast. And she was like, haha, your dumb podcast. And I was like, I know. It is. But it's
sorry,
also
Anne.
income.
Yeah, please buy stickers.
Oh yeah, buy stickers. Our stickers are okay. Back. We have to fucking talk
Also,
about the
donate
wheel
to
of
Planned
time. Okay, so our brief reprieve from, well, technically we're not back with Perrin, but we are back with Nynaeve and Elaine and Edgianan, the girl band that I never wanted.
Yeah.
They're so bad. Which of the Spice Girls do you think they are?
First of all,
Edgianan's
there are
Sporty
5
Spice.
of the Spice Girls,
I
so
know.
Tom and Julian or Baildamon also have to be included.
Okay, Tom and Baildamon, obviously,
Okay.
because Julian shouldn't be there, as we all know.
Yeah, Edgianan can be Sporty Spice, Elaine is Baby Spice,
Yeah.
Nynaeve is Scary Spice.
Oh my god, you're on a fucking roll. Who are the other two? Posh
It's
Spice.
Posh Spice and Ginger Spice. Tom would be Posh Spice, which means that Baildamon is Ginger Spice.
You're right. Damn, that was so fast! I thought that would be like a bit that would last for a while. But no, Sally just knows the Spice Girls off the top of her
Of
head.
course I know the Spice Girls. Who do you think I am? I could have just obliterated my brand in 30 seconds flat if I didn't know who the Spice Girls were. I would have no authority.
Execution
Yeah,
style.
I would have no authority anymore.
Do you ever think about the museum we went to in London that had just a video of, what's his name, sleeping?
Yeah, David Beckham.
David Beckham.
Yeah, it was the National Portrait Gallery.
And it was like, here, just enjoy this weirdly erotic video of David Beckham sleeping. And I was like, I don't like it.
I literally had not thought about that since I saw
think
it.
about it every day.
Until you just told me, because it was so weird. My brain was like, nope, and like shut the iron curtain on it.
There are probably some things that you remember from our museum experience that I've shut down.
Yeah.
But yeah, the David Beckham sleeping one
It was weird.
was mine.
It was, and like people were like, "Oh my god, David Beckham," and I was like, "This is disgusting."
Really, we're watching a person sleep. I
Yeah.
hate it. We are all Edward in this moment.
Ugh. Ugh.
Exactly.
I
That's
don't
what
like
Edward
inhabiting
was
that
doing.
space.
Also, that's definitely someone's fetish. You know?
Specifically, watching David Beckham
Yeah,
sleep.
specifically David Beckham. Someone is like fantasizing about that now as we speak. Someone, when I said to remember that video about David Beckham sleeping, was like, ooh. That got
Google
me.
immediately. Pause.
That got
David
me.
Beckham sleeping.
So if that's you, I mean, I guess it could be worse.
Not
so.
gonna yuck your yums, you know.
Yeah. um, whatever. Fucking Nynaeve and Elaine and Edgianan are sitting around trying to eat with chopsticks, but of course there's a different word because this is Wheel of Time. We
Yeah, you
can't
can't
call
call
them
them
chopsticks.
chopsticks. That would be ridiculous.
And they're like, oh, we're all eating our Daman food this week. And using
It's very weird.
using their instruments. Sidebar, remember how they cast Leanna and she's the most
Oh my
beautiful
God.
woman on the entire planet?
I can't talk about it. She's so hot.
I mean, we all knew she was gonna have to be hot, but I was worried they'd be like MILF hot.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we're just going full hot.
She's so hot. Literally, the picture she posted where she's like biting her thumb, I was like, I can't do this.
I know, I
I
was
was
like,
like weeping. It was like too
Girl.
much for my little gay heart.
I was like, girl!
She's so hot. I'm sure she's also very talented and kind, but she's also
But
so
she's so
hot.
beautiful and she has such cool tattoos.
I know. I hope they let her keep her tattoos
I
as
want her to
Leanne.
step on me.
What if Leanne just had tattoos?
That would be really good.
I also want her to step on me.
Yeah, just Leanne, step on me. Me being the collective me. So they're eating chopsticks, and there's some, like, stuff about gossip, and apparently there's been lots of riots, but, like, what else is new? This is Terrebonne. Fucking everyone's rioting, and there's numerous references in this chapter to various non-livestock animals being eaten because people are starving, and that's upsetting to think about. But, then Baildamon comes in and is like, what the fuck? You guys are dining with a fucking Shanshin. And he and Edgianan have a little mini fist fight.
Yeah.
Which I imagine would be very alarming.
Yeah.
And also erotically charged to watch.
Yeah, very erotic.
I guess. But then they're like, oh my god, Edgianan Shanshin, but we like her. Because apparently they've been hanging out with her for a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, it's actually not hard to stop liking people.
I know. There was, like, this really weird discourse running through this entire chapter, like, especially when it's in Elaine's point of view, where she's like, of course I'm upset or whatever, but she's like, Nynaeve seems to have legitimately turned on her in, like, a minute, which to Elaine, she says something like, it seems odd because it's not like Nynaeve was the one that they captured, like, that was Edwene, and it's like, bitch.
Empathy,
yeah.
First of all.
Like, if somebody had one of my good friends in chains,
yeah,
it would, like, be an issue for me.
And also, like, Nynaeve does say later in her point of view, she's like, I'm angry, I'm directing my anger at Aegianan, but I'm also angry because I like her.
Yeah.
And I can't stop liking her. And it's just, I've been thinking a lot about what Peter said about the Shanshan having Texan accents and therefore being parallels to the South during the Civil War, and about how Robert Jordan is himself from the South and seems to be a Civil War apologist because of how he is obsessed with creating this, like, weird storyline in which the people who enslave other people are somehow, like, fine.
Yeah.
It's just a different culture than yours. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
Yeah.
What's happening?
No, it's very interesting. Again, the layer that Peter brought up, them having Texan accents, is the, like, really
Thanks, Peter.
interesting. I
You're
know,
so
you're
smart.
so smart. We're so lucky that we know you. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
It's okay, I just got so emotional about how much
Peter.
I love Peter.
He's gonna be so embarrassed when he hears this.
What the fuck was I saying?
A weird layer about them having Texan accents.
There's a weird layer about them having Texan or Southern accents, generally speaking. Nope, it's gone.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But, I mean, generally, like you said, there's this apologist narrative. And, like, sorry to go from the Civil War immediately to the Holocaust, but as I've said many times, that's my point of reference.
And those are parallel
Yeah, they're
events.
definitely parallel, they're genocides, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it's not put in that context in American history, but, like, the African slave trade was a genocide, so...
So, fuck you.
Okay, but when I was reading a lot of particularly, like, young adult fantasy novels, which is what I did my thesis on, young adult fantasy novels that engaged with the Holocaust, there was always a Nazi figure who was, like, humanized through the idea that they just, like, are a good person in a bad situation and in a bad culture. And it's just, there's this, like, constant need across, like, literature that deals with, or media that deals with, basically empires, and all that is involved with empires and enslaving and colonialism, to, like, have this apologist narrative for people who are in there and trying to be like, it's okay, like, it's fine. And it's just like, why are we so uncomfortable with just across the board villainizing? Like, if you are complicit, then you are a perpetrator. Like, that's a hard line.
Yeah, we as a modern society are so afraid of hard lines. Mm-hmm. And we also are obsessed with the Romeo Nazi figure. Mm-hmm. I don't get what's going on there. But it's like in modern society, like, things can turn on you so quickly.
Yeah.
Because of the way we're positioned in technology and, like, our very sudden capacity to interact with people and viewpoints on the other side of the world. It's like, you 5 years ago, like, I don't want any of you to ever meet 5 years ago Emily. She was a dick.
Yeah.
You know, she had horrible beliefs, I'm sure. I don't really remember most of them off the top of my head, but she, you know, wasn't as good of a person as I hope I am now.
Yeah.
And in 5 years, I hope I'll look back at me now and be like, oh, God. Because people grow and change. And so we all like and embrace the idea of people growing and changing, and I agree with the idea that people can grow and change, but I also think it's a really dangerous line to walk in fiction when we are saying... but you can change in the course of this 300-page novel.
Yeah.
And it's an easy arc to unpack.
Yeah, like, kind of slightly off topic, but obviously the huge, like, redemption arc that's been in the zeitgeist lately is Kylo Ren / Ben Solo. And I think Emily talked about this on the podcast.
I deleted it.
Okay. Well, Emily and I have had a lot of conversations about it. But Emily said something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, where it's, like, very frustrating when people think redemption can happen in one action. It's like redemption is not something that you achieve by doing one thing. It's not just like Kylo Ren, spoiler alert, being like throwing his red lightsaber into the ocean and then going to help Rey fight Emperor Palpatine. I can't believe that's a real thing.
I know, Palpatine fucked, you guys. Spoiler alert if you for some reason haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, and so it's like, Emily's right. And there's been, I'm all over the place today, but especially in the media this week as we were recording, this past Sunday, Kobe Bryant passed away, and 8 other people in a helicopter crash in Los Angeles, or flying somewhere to or from Los Angeles, which is very sad. But there's been a lot of stuff on the internet about Kobe Bryant as this, like, figure of, like, this very respected and inspired figure in the sports world, and particularly for the Black community. And there's also meeting up with discourse the fact that, like, Kobe Bryant was an accused rapist, and, like, what it means to, like, hold the legacy and memory of those two things at the same time. And that's been bringing up a lot of conversations, at least in, like, my internet sphere, about, like, drawing hard lines on people. Like, people, you can't just, like, to have memory, you need to, like, to have a productive cultural memory, you need to be able to hold two things in the same space.
It's which, like cancel culture.
Yeah.
Which I think mostly we've all been saying, well, cancel culture is bad. That's such a hard thing to say out loud.
I know, cancel culture when you're not reading it.
Yeah, it's bad because it doesn't last, is what I've mostly heard in the zeitgeist, is because we kind of, like, forget about people we've canceled after a couple of years, and then they just are, like, able to do the same old shit. But it's also bad because, yeah, people do change. When we dig up tweets from 5 years ago, there is a certain level to which it's like, perhaps this person has changed and we aren't able to make that judgment. But also, those tweets, whether or not a person is seeing them 5 years ago or now, definitely have the capacity to hurt people.
Yeah.
So I think we just want to be comfortable too much.
Yeah, I think that really is it. Like, I completely stand by what I said, like, especially in the context of genocide and enslaving people. If you are complicit, then you are a perpetrator. Like, that is perhaps, like, an extreme example of what it means to be a perpetrator, or to be complicit. But, like, there's that kind of idea floating around in Robert Jordan's writing of the Shanshan in particular, that it's just, like, they can be good and evil at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, sure, I guess, if you're exploring that in this, like, crazy epic exploration of good versus evil in an extremely, like, dichotomous way, whatever. Like, I can get the project, but at the end of the day, you are still apologizing for a culture that's fine with keeping slaves. Like, Edgianan literally last chapter of her point of view is like, oh, should I murder this woman or sell her to sex, like, traffickers?
Yeah.
Like, she did not think of that woman as a person. So it's like, you have to, like, if you want to have those people in the story and talk about, like, the humanity that gets bungled when you're dealing with, like, horrible cultures, like, you need to put in the work to make that person come back from that. You can't just be like, oh, but I like her, she's nice.
Yeah, like, if Robert Jordan had put in an ounce of the work he did in, I don't know, rounding out the goddamn Kyrianan court.
Yeah.
Or the fucking number of Aes Sedai that exist into, like, I don't know, looking a little closer at the issues that the Shanshan bring up, then maybe we'd have less to complain about.
Yeah, it's just, truly, it's just disgusting. And I think we've said this before, but it's irresponsible. Like, taking the real world aside, whatever. If you are writing fiction, you have a responsibility to do so ethically. And to be like, these slavers are people too. It's like, you stupid fucking idiot. I'm not interested in the slavers. I'm interested in the fact that human beings are enslaved, and I want to hear from those people.
Yeah, also, slavers aren't the ones whose humanity I have been taught to question.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the rhetoric is not about, there's no perhaps nowadays there's more dehumanizing rhetoric towards enslavers, but if you read anything, even textbooks, really, sometimes, it's yeah, you would know.
I would know.
Anyway, it just grosses me out. I really like the phrase you used, the, like, Romeo Nazi figure.
I know, because we all just want to be romanced, apparently, by a man who's done bad shit, and that's how he's on the opposite, you know, the opposing house from us.
Yeah.
But we meet in the middle somehow, and that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, don't change yourself for men, first of all.
Yeah.
Don't compromise your ethics and belief systems for men.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But also, like, it's so dumb.
It's just weird. Like, I don't know. I wish if I were to ever go back into an academic setting, I would love to, like, study this further. But,
it would make me so angry. It always makes me so angry because I get so frustrated with the people who are like, but Kylo Ren's just a sad baby boy.
oh, I can't even
And I'm
deal
like,
with
what
that
the
shit.
fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's also ugly. Sorry, Adam Driver. I do think Adam Driver's attractive in other settings, but in the Star
Kylo
Wars,
Ren, he's always wet and greasy.
Exactly.
It's really weird.
Like, Adam Driver's attractiveness is like, and he's kind of got nice hair.
Yeah.
But Kylo Ren is always greasy and stuck to his goddamn pasty skin.
Yeah, and he's always just in, like, not flattering clothing.
Yeah, black is not Adam Driver's color.
He's too white.
He's too white.
Yeah, no, the Kylo Ren thing drives me up the fucking wall. I don't even, it's like I live on a different planet than human beings who are like, Kylo Ren's just sad. And I'm like, what the, he's literally, like, killing children.
I know!
How is that, like,
He's
not...
done war crimes on screen multiple times.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
It's so weird. This newsletter / media publication that I love, Salty, which I think I've talked about on here before, one of their contributors wrote an essay about how they moved to, like, a deeply conservative area.
Oh, no.
And so they basically are like, I can't have sex with any of these Republicans because they don't believe in the basic humanity of people. So it was basically just, like, her commitment to celibacy because she refuses to have sex with, or they, I shouldn't assume their pronouns because I can't remember, but they, like, refuse to have sex with anybody. It's like, I would rather be celibate than, you know, sacrifice an ounce of my humanity for the pleasure of some cis white man who doesn't believe in the rights of others. So anyway, be more like that person.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really
That's a hard line.
fucking rad. Yeah.
Damn.
It's awesome.
Okay, well, we've
It's
perhaps
just
harped on.
Frustrating. These chapters were so upsetting for that reason, because Elaine is just like...
Elaine's white feminist TM.
No, this chapter in particular
They
was
haven't
like...
announced Elaine's casting yet because it's Taylor Swift, and so...
Could you imagine?
They don't want to, like, cause too much uproar, but honestly, same person.
Yeah.
Always the victim.
Yeah, this chapter really, like, hit home to me, like, Elaine's horrible privilege. Like, if I were to write an essay about Elaine's privilege, this would be one of the main chapters I drew quotes from, because she's just like, Edgiana never did anything to me personally.
Yeah, so why should I worry about it's just bad.
It's just like, put yourself in a fucking political context, you dumb idiot.
And it's like I hate complaining about things and then not presenting solutions. And it's because we're talking about people are complicated, and I continue to believe that Edgianin as a single character, if you can manage to do something about the massive horrificness that is immediately behind her in Shanshin, but Edgianin as a singular character is an interesting enough character.
Yeah.
And her interactions with people, I think, is an interesting way of Edgianin comes to the conclusion that she was wrong.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
She, as she says, she's like, I immediately released, as soon as I got to know you guys, I released the woman who I've been
in my basement.
Locked in my basement.
And they're like, oh, great.
Which could get me killed if anyone ever finds out about it.
Yeah.
And I can't even go to the characterization of Edgianin in later books because it pretty much fucks itself up. But, like, as it is now, this isn't a bad thing to present. People meeting people of different cultures and muddling a way to find a relationship. Because that is eventually how many problems are solved.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the way the rhetoric is structured here, with Elaine's overwhelming privilege, and Nynaeve just being unable to emotionally process anything because she's naive, is just, like, so unproductive.
Yeah, and it particularly, like, I think Edgianin is, while this is exemplary of, like, what happens throughout the text, like, Edgianin is probably not the best example of where this bad stuff happens, because, objectively, she's, like, doing the work.
Yeah,
and
Tuon's the example of where it's the worst.
That's where I was gonna go. Because it's like, and also Egeanin is not like, she's got relative power in her society as, like, a captain of a ship, but, like, she's definitely not nobility. She's definitely not, like, she is a victim of the system to a degree, of course. Like, it's not like she is Bethamin, who was fucking chained in a basement for however long.
Although Bethamin was herself a soldat.
Oh, that's true!
So,
I forgot about that. So, yeah, we've got all these degrees of, like, perpetrating and being a victim and how those lines apparently interact. But, yeah, it's when you get to people like Tuon and all the other Seanchan nobility and the fact that Mat is just, like, folded into that society. And it's just, like, weird. It's just bad. I don't know. And then, yeah, it's like one of my main characters is gonna marry the big, bad, enslaving empress.
Who's also one of my only canonically black characters. And it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, the more you talk about it in the context of, like, Civil War apology.
I know, I've been thinking about it for, like, the last 4 days, and now I've been like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because, like, Peter Dancer interacted with Devon being like, where's he from? To figure out whether a love interest cousin was appropriate, which was a joke, but also, I was like, oh, yeah, he is from the South.
Yeah, and he was...
And he does draw a lot on the Civil War in his writing, just in terms of, like, some of his characterizations of kind of deified general figures. That's a very American Southern thing to do.
Yeah, one of our amazing listeners and Patreon supporters, Sam, pointed out to me that one of them is based, like, pretty much on Robert Lee.
Yeah.
Which one? I can't fucking remember. Is it Gareth?
I don't...
Sam, what did you say? Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Oh yeah, Sam's making the same argument here.
Oh my god, we just need to listen to our listeners more.
Yeah.
They fucking know more than we do. Sorry, Sam.
Sorry, Sam.
You were probably like, what the
fuck
are they
talking about? And I promise that I did. I just got so caught up on this last sentence that it was like, Sam, if I'm gonna read this whole thing, I hope that's okay, but, Sam said, also, I have recently come to a horrifying revelation, a factor that I don't know if you've mentioned in Robert Jordan's really weird relation to slavery and enslavement in The Wheel of Time, and why the world is okay with letting the Seanchan just kind of do their own horrible thing, and that factor is Jordan's southernness. He was born and lived much of his life in Charleston, i.e. the city where the Civil War began, and fired the first shots for the Confederacy. I feel my main evidence for this is his the slavery is just part of their culture attitude the series seems to take towards the Seanchan, and how the solution to dealing with them is how the founding fathers chose to deal with slavery. Let's wait it out, not do anything, and hope they just grow out of it. Also, my other evidence is the fact that Gareth Bryn is heavily based on Robert E. Lee, right down to having a beloved warhorse named Traveler. I'm not calling Robert Jordan I'm not outright calling Robert Jordan a Confederate sympathizer, but I'm saying maybe living in the South definitely seeped into his view of the world and morality. So yes, Sam, I promise I did read that, but I got so caught up on Robert E. Lee having the same horse name as Gareth Bryn.
Was pretty wild. But yeah, Gareth Bryn and Robert E. Lee were...
So, like Emily said, we should just listen to you guys. And not take...
Lesson learned!
18 weeks to get to the same conclusion. But,
You guys are so smart.
I know. We're so lucky. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Whatever. What the fuck ever. Who
Plot.
What's the plot?
I don't know. I just got so mad reading these chapters last night.
So, blah, 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 blah. Civil War sympathizer. Then all the men come in, one right after another. It's like some sort of comedy farce. They're all
fucking Three Stooges.
They're all like, oh, hey, we found the Black Aja. They're in the Panarch's palace. And everyone's like, okay, fuck, we get it already. 3 of you have said this at exactly the same time, because Robert Jordan doesn't know how to structure a goddamn plot.
It's like, why do the 3 of them have to come in for some dumb comedic value? And it's like, I don't want comedic value.
It's because Robert Jordan cares more about, like, giving us this little in-joke about how they're all competing with each other than about, I don't know, writing ethically. So they go off again to try and figure out what the fuck's going on, and long story short, they don't really know, but the ladies decide to go to sleep. Egeanin is staying with them because they're like, we don't fucking trust you to go off on your own. And Nynaeve's like, okay, I've got to go meet Egg. So Nynaeve meets Egg in the Stone of Tyr with 2 wise ones accompanying her. I can't remember if this is new to them.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's a little odd. And they're all kind of faint. And Nynaeve's like, what's the deal? And they're like, oh, we're half asleep in our saddles. Because apparently we can do that.
Yeah.
And they sort of are like, here's the situation with us. We're on a breakneck pace to go to this place where Rand's going to announce himself and get all the ale behind him against all custom. And Nynaeve was like, okay, well, we are super close, super duper close to getting the Black Aja and figuring out, what they're here for. But I need some help. And after some classic Nynaeve interacting with other authority figures shenanigans, they're like, okay, here's the thing you can do is you can focus on a need and sort of hop towards it, sort of like focusing in, like a camera zooming in on something. Yeah. But the problem is you'll be kind of going blind every time you jump. So they leave, and Nynaeve does this. Her first jump takes her immediately into the Panarch's bedroom, Amathera. Amathera will, of course, also, for some reason, be a character. But don't worry, her love interest? Julian.
What? I thought Julian had a wife.
No.
Was that just a joke we made?
It might have been.
Why?
Because they're both 2 characters that do not need to be in the narrative.
So Robert Jordan
was like, pair them up. Because also heterosexuality is compulsory in the Wheel of Time. I know, just think about it.
I don't want to.
Anyway, she's being tormented in some way by some Black Aja lady, which is unpleasant to think about, but does answer the question of whether she is, to the ladies anyway, whether she knows that this is Black Aja or if she's been captured.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's this whole thing where they're like, she's in the Panarch's palace, and we the readers, I think, are supposed to know why, because we were with Leandrin and Caridin 19 chapters ago when they were putting this plan together, but fuck me if I can remember, or if I cared at the time.
Yeah, I was like, whatever, I don't care what the fuck why they're there.
I know, they for some reason went into the Panarch's palace. I don't remember.
Machinations.
It's enough for me to know that bad guys are there. Consider that. I'd rather just know what the fucking characters know. What a revelation. But before the Black Aja lady can see her, Nynaeve hops away again, right into the same museum that we've been to before. But she sees Moghedien walking around. Well, she doesn't know it's Moghedien, except that she keeps tugging on her hair real angry. And she's like, what the fuck is happening? I can't control my hands.
Why am I so angry?
Why am I so angry? Don't hang yourself, Jane.
Don't hang yourself, Jane.
Just think of how many people hang themselves and then wake up the next morning
wishing they had it. Bloody Americans.
Oh, I love stealing stuff from her.
Okay.
Everyone watch Austin Land.
I was literally going to say, stop this podcast. I haven't done that in a bit, so you have to listen to us.
It's so funny.
And go watch Austin Land because it's so charming.
It's legitimately the most hilarious movie of all time.
The guy from American Gods is in it, right?
Yeah.
So Ricky Lake played
Ricky
one
Whittle.
of the hot...
Yeah.
Ricky Whittle, sorry. Ricky Lake. Oh my god. What a day!
What a day, what a day. So she's like her body's having this reaction to Moghedien, which kind of as she sits with it, she suddenly remembers. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. We don't typically see characters just break through their compulsion in this way, and it's kind of like not lingered on. Never again does it come up that Nynaeve's like, oh, well, I just, with the power of my anger, obliterated the compulsion that she put on me. Like, it never comes up again, even though I think it's either a superpower.
Yeah.
I guess since it never comes up again, Robert Jordan thought better of it and was like, maybe I'll make my bad characters actually do bad things that can't be undone.
And Nynaeve can't just be like
by passion.
Furious and be like, wait, I remember.
Although, I mean, Nynaeve's fury is generally her.
It is sort of a supernova
her ace
of
in the
its
hole.
own. Yeah.
But also Birgitte shows up and is like, shh, please. Please don't alert the scary lady that we are here. And they chat, and Nynaeve's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why can't I go fucking fight that woman?
Yeah.
And Birgitte's like, that's Moghedien. And Nynaeve's like, who? Birgitte's like, one of the Forsaken, Moghedien, and the dude, the homeboy you saw in the desert last time, that was definitely Asmodine.
Asmodine.
And Nynaeve's like, well, fuck it, I don't care. I'll fight any of the Forsaken. Name a
By
time and
myself.
place.
I'll kick my own ass.
Yeah. I'll throw down anytime, any place. And Brigitte's like, you're insane and I love you.
Yeah, she's like, let's get married.
Brigitte's like, why couldn't I be your warder?
Yeah.
Consider this.
Let's go get married and make out.
Oh, and also Godalkane is there. Sadly, they're one of the only heterosexual romances I'm kind of like, oh, cute. But, of course, we have to mess with it in dumb ways.
Yeah.
They can never really be together on screen.
No, but as I've said before, one of my many favorite things about Brigitte is that she just loves an ugly man.
I know. It's so iconic.
She's so funny.
All of her interactions with Matt about ugly men are hilarious.
Matt's like, I'm glad she doesn't find me attractive because that would mean I was butt fucking ugly.
That would be horrifying.
Matt,
Brigitte's like,
look
at... They're both just such bisexual heroes, you know?
Yeah.
Brigitte's like, look at that very hot woman over there. And Matt's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Look at that incredibly ugly man. Brigitte's like, yes, so horny. God, I love them.
I know. They're such bros.
Bros being bros.
Two bros chilling in a hot tub.
Oh my god, I was talking to Janet the other day, and she was like, sometimes when Devin's texting you, I'll ask, oh, how is Emily? And he'll be like, I don't know. We don't fucking talk about that.
Like hell.
I was like, yeah, that's true. It doesn't really come up. It's just whatever we're chatting about.
Your hair is very Bush Rudy again right now, and I love it. No, don't fix it. How is Devin?
I don't know. Fine, I assume. We'll see him on Thursday.
I have his number now. I can text him.
That's
How are
true.
you?
I shouldn't have given you guys your numbers. Too much power wielded against me. Okay. Anyway, Brigitte's like, I shouldn't even be talking to you, blah, blah, blah. Lore about Heroes of the Horn being connected to the world of dreams, blah, 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 blah. Which we all fucking know already.
Yeah,
so
it's
why
like,
are we
Brigitte, I'm
talking
pretty
about
sure we had this, like, same fucking conversation 2 minutes ago, it feels like.
At least in the podcast we did. But then she leaves, and Nynaeve goes to look at what Moghedien was looking at, and sees A, a seal to the Dark One's prison, and B, the male Adam, which she is like, what's this weird thing?
Yeah. But then it's like pain, suffering.
Pain, suffering, torment. And then she wakes up, Elaine wakes her up and is like, bitch, I want to sleep. And they're chatting about it, and Nynaeve's like, it kind of looked like an Adam, but I've never heard of that being a thing for men. And they're like, but it kind of has to be, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what else could be a threat to the quote-unquote Dragon Reborn? So, like, okay, we gotta go in there and get that. Just then, Tom hollers outside the door, and they go out, and the creepy blonde Shanchin dude who's been tailing Aegianin is there. And Aegianin's like, wow, we should probably just slit his throat. And I'm like, Aegianin, you continue to make a case for yourself.
Yeah, seriously.
And everyone's like, no, we'll just dump him out in the alley where he'll be scavenged, essentially. Potentially brutally murdered.
Yeah, I'm like, it would be kinder to just kill him now.
I know, honestly.
And just, like, leave his unconscious body in the middle of this city in distress.
Yes. Also, I think he comes back into the narrative. A lot of people who are in this narrative, I feel like, come back in the Ebu Dar narrative. If that makes sense. Yeah. Caradin.
Ugh.
Moghedien.
Ugh.
This guy.
Ugh.
I think. Aegianin, obviously. Oh, you're fine.
Aegianin.
Aegianin.
No, she's not worthy of the egg title. I'm sorry.
You have to earn the egg.
You have to
earn the egg.
earn it.
Earn the egg. Earn the egg.
Earn the egg.
So... Oh, and then there's this whole thing about the ladies being in their shifts, which when I read it when I was 12 really made me feel like I had misunderstood what a shift was. Mm-hmm. But no, they just don't want to be seen without bras on or something. I don't know what the deal is.
It's very weird. Yeah, there's like in Long Neck, it's like another weird Wheel of Time modesty culture that I'm just over.
Don't feel shame about your body.
Body is not an apology.
Uh-huh.
Sonia Renee Taylor.
But Aegianin is also like, Bail Devon might be sexy, but it's only after he's seen her in her nightgown and been like, maybe she's sexy, that it's like, I don't know.
It's bad.
Don't have a woman be uncomfortable about a man looking at her, but then also be like, oh, maybe that man, because he finds me attractive, is also attractive.
I know.
That's not what happens.
It's also, like, the pinnacle of, like, covert rape culture.
Yes.
It's like, whatever.
Ugh. Covert sexism juice. Don't drink it.
Don't drink it.
God. But they're like, okay, let's get the plan together. And that's that.
Yeah, well, the ladies have to, like, make a plan before they reunite with the men, because God forbid, they all make a plan together.
I know, they're so...
It's dumb.
Such dinguses.
But anyway, that's those chapters.
They finally know what they want to do. They know, You know.
Hi, Tibble.
In the next chapter, Perrin will, in fact, get married. If you were wondering when that was going to happen.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna plan the perfect wedding for Fail and Perrin.
Actually, now that I think about it, I might have mixed it up so that next episode we just skip a chapter and then go straight to the conclusion of Nynaeve and Elaine. So I don't remember. So don't be like holding out for Perrin's wedding or something.
I'm gonna fix it.
Okay. What?
I'm gonna plan the perfect wedding for. I'm gonna make a Pinterest board.
Oh my god! It's like the same energy as when we make a Spotify playlist for Matt.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Perrin's Pinterest board.
Yeah, exactly.
Look Lots out for of lingerie that says wifey on it. Exactly. Yeah. You'll have to make it cringy.
Okay, we'll see if I'm strong enough, actually. Emily really hit to my deepest weakness, which is anything that says wifey on it.
It's your Achilles heel.
It is my Achilles heel.
That's your instant kill. Wifey.
There you go.
Sally can't be killed by normal bullets. Only bullets that have wifey engraved on them.
Yeah, so in the narrative where you have to kill me, the town monster, you have to go to, like, some...
Okay, but imagine the CSI episode following the discovery of your body when they dig out the bullet that says wifey, and they're like, what the fuck?
What is happening?
And then the Who starts playing.
Yeah.
Out here in the fields. Oh my god. Hey, this episode turned out alright after.
Yeah.
Despite the ranting in the middle.
In the beginning.
Or perhaps because of it.
In the end.
We'll see. Ranting usually gives way to hysteria when it comes to... Okay. Thank you for listening. Thanks again for sticking with us for over 100 episodes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you to Glenna McKenzie for our theme song.
It bangs.
Thank you to Sam. I hope it's okay we read your comment out loud, but you really were galaxy braining, and we did not appreciate you enough for that.
I got so distracted by horses.
Horses, they are my weakness.
They are. Horses and wifey.
Anyway, do you have a sign-off?
Oh, we have a listener-submitted one. Ooh. I think I did enough of my own bullshit. Nobody wants to hear any more of that. Ever since you roasted me, I've been trying to organize the EHR email a little better.
I didn't roast you.
You did, and that's fine.
I was roasting myself because I never go in there. I'm, like, afraid of it.
This one's gonna be fun.
Oh.
This comes from Jessie, who's been a long-time listener since, like, the very beginning. I think they're one of our first Tumblr follows. And Jessie writes, there's some context here. Read it or don't, but I feel like I need to defend myself here. Way back in high school, one of my friends said that terrible pickup line, "You know the walrus has the second largest penis in the animal kingdom" line to me. And both of us being bound for biological studies, we immediately started learning and sharing facts about animal penises and later just animal reproduction in general. Now, I'm teaching for the first time. I teach 9th grade biology, very brave of you. And one of the things I do is write a fun fact, generally about something related to what we're learning on the board every day. That's adorable.
Aww.
But I work at a boarding school, so I have to work in the dorms one night a week, which means I lose like 2 hours of sleep that night. Oh, that's a fucking bummer.
Gosh.
So the next morning, I totally forgot to change the fact on the board. If you've ever talked with 14-year-olds, they hate to change their routine. So one of my classes immediately starts badgering me for a fact, and suddenly the only facts I can remember are very inappropriate for me, a teacher, to tell 9th graders. So I tried to dissuade them, but if you've ever met 14-year-olds, they are impossible to move off course. In a very vain attempt to get an idea that is appropriate, I asked them to give me something to think of a fact for, and someone says elephant, which was in no way helpful. So finally, tired and just done with everything, I relent and tell them the first elephant fact that comes to mind, which is, of course, something about their dicks.
Oh my god.
In case you are curious, elephant dicks are semi-prehensile, so they
curious.
so they can use it to help balance on uneven ground and even move logs out of the way.
What? They have, not only do they have a trunk, a fifth limb, but male elephants have a sixth limb? What? Oh my god. Jesse!
I thought that was the end of it. But yesterday during our review, a couple students stopped by to say hi, which is normally whatever. And the kids in my class immediately and excitedly tell them their fun new fact about elephants. And worse, today on the test I offered bonus points for what's a Mrs. Teacher's fun fact that has been written on the board, and far too many put something about elephant dicks, including elephants use their penis as a fifth leg, and elephant penises are huge. So anyway, I'm waiting for an email from the head of school.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine? I'm sure that was traumatizing, but it's also so ballsy to get up in front of a room of 14-year-old and be like, elephants have semi-prehensile dicks.
And I'd be like, what the fuck?
What?
Okay, well, I'm gonna be thinking about that for the rest of my life, I guess. It's like that meme.
Yeah.
You know, was I supposed to know that elephants have semi-prehensile dicks, or was I just supposed to learn about it and then listeners sign off by myself?
Well, there you go.
Thank you, Jesse. You're a brave, brave soul.
You are a brave, 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 brave soul.
Thank you all. Don't do a war crime.
Don't do a war crime.